I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. Tell these salty motherfuckers to tell the truth. Tell politicians to give up the rooms. Tell silent voters to stand up to the booth.
God, it's me. Can you hear my plea? Feeling like I'm lost in this world, can't you see? Demons creeping in, trying to take control of me. But I'm just trying to find the light, trying to break free. I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. But why you keep forgetting me? What did I do? Trying to have a convo, but you starting to preach. Feeling like I'm on a leash. Can't find no peace. Living in hell, can't you hear my plea? I'm suffocating, can't you see? Why you let these false prophets roam free? While the real ones suffer, can't you see? I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. Why you keep targeting me? What did I do? Trying to have a convo, but you starting to preach. Feel like I'm on a leash, can't find no peace.
Hardest battles, strongest soldiers, greatest burden, broadest shoulders, pushing up just like these boulders. This conflict like it's water, so this mercy, take my chalice, seeking grace through all this malice. All of these salty motherfuckers to give out.
Politics and sinners, they all the same.
Got me stuck in this endless game. But I won't give up, won't play the role. Gotta do what's best
for my soul.
I'm not perfect, God, neither are you. Tell these salty motherfuckers to tell the truth. Tell these politicians to give up the room. Tell silent voters to stand up to the booth. Living wild but truthfully free. God keep on watching over me. Take my plea.
Good morning. Should say it's Monday, but it's Tuesday. But before we get into all that, you already know I got independent music. And here is Louis Blaze and You Got Me.
Understand it, it's hard to manage when you overstand it. Girl, you know that body dangerous. You speaking in a different language, and we don't need much conversation. Telepathy communication. My type of love could be your favorite, and it's not something you can play with. Do you love me? Can you say it? Cause it feel better when you say it. Oh yeah. You got me, I got you. Eyes on the prize, see the queen in you. Really, I slide, I bleed for you. Real boss player, spinach cheese on you. You got me, I got you. Eyes on the prize, see the queen in you. Really, I slide, I bleed for you. Real boss player, spinach cheese. Do better if you know better. I'm getting rid of all my old ways. I've been needing something real. No, I'm getting way too old for a whole phase. Can you give me a reason to stay at home, babe? Are you really with seasoning? Are you homemade? Can you turn a house to a home? Are you okay? With me in the studio working so late. You got me, I got you. Eyes on the prize, see the queen in you. Really, I slide, I bleed for you. Real boss player, spinach cheese on you. You got me, I got you. Eyes on the prize, see the queen in you. Really, I slide, I bleed for you. Real boss player, spinach cheese on you. Nobody gon' hold me down the way that you hold me down. Nobody gon' hold me down the way that you hold me down. Nobody gon' hold me down the way that you hold me down. I love I got you to hold me down. I love I got you to hold me down. Oh, you got me, I got you. Eyes on the prize, see the queen in you. Really, I slide, I bleed for you. Real boss player, spinach cheese on you. You got me, I got you. Eyes on the prize, see the queen in you. Really, I slide, I bleed for you. Real boss player, spinach cheese on you. Don't understand it, it's hard to manage when you overstand it. You overstand it.
Louis Blaze, You Got Me. I want to get into, so there's a lot going on in Rochester right now. And I want to get into that a little bit first. So I want to play you a video that came out, I believe it was Friday night, Saturday morning. I don't know, it was probably like after midnight. But this is a video about Charlotte Hendricks and what's happening in Rochester.
To post a comment over here so that I can see it, because I only have half a screen. My other device is broken. But hi, Instagram. Thank y'all for checking in. I have some disturbing news that I would like to share with the community. If you see me smiling, it's because I have to smile to keep from crying. Ah! Hold on, y'all. My little thing ain't really that stable, y'all. Bear with me. If y'all see me laughing, it's not because anything is funny. Sometimes it's a coping mechanism. I have to laugh to keep from crying sometimes with the things that I deal with, dealing with social justice and advocacy work. Now this phone gonna fall again, so just bear with me. We got one view on Facebook. Hi, Facebook. If you make a comment, I won't be able to see it. I want to just jump in. It's late. I can't sleep, and I need to tell somebody what's going on, because I would love to hear your perspective. And this live is primarily for anyone who lives in or runs a business or is affiliated with Rochester. We've recently expanded our organization, so we have a lot of people from the Twin Cities who tune in to us, but this live is specifically for the community of Rochester. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me? Can somebody give me a thumbs up if my audio is okay? I would hate to go into details and nobody can hear what I am saying. Let me know if you can hear me, or just heart the screen if yes, if you can hear me. I'm just trying to get a little technical assistance here. Oh, thank you. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and dive right in. So recently, Journey went live on Instagram with the camera guy whose name is Shamarky, right here in my home. We went live on our social media platforms to inform the community about his story and to tell the community about who he was, because he felt like he was being, not getting the attention that he deserved to tell his side of the story about what was going on, which was the fact that his family was being targeted by the police, by white supremacists, to the point where he could not operate his truck driving business. He wasn't able to make money. He could barely leave his home. He himself has an autistic child who is homebound now because they can't take him out. So he mentioned to us during that live that he tried to share this information with the NAACP, who would not speak with him, who would not share his story due to allegations of charges that was brought up on him in his past that were dismissed. When I received the phone call that the camera guy and this representative of the family wanted to share information, us being a social justice organization, I don't discriminate, I like to try to gather as much information as I can about what's going on before just letting people onto our platform. And so I did that. Before Shamarky and Ayan came onto the Journey platform, I had spoken with a couple of leaders within the community just to confirm some information that I had heard. And based off the information that I received, I was confident about allowing Shamarky and Ayan, the representative of the family, onto our platform to share their stories and to ultimately assist Shamarky and his family with raising some funds through his GoFundMe platform to help his family with food and any necessities. As of right now, I believe Shamarky has raised about $86,000 on his GoFundMe, and he has another platform, I can't remember the name of it, I'll find it, post it, link it to you guys. But he's doing really well on that platform. I believe that platform is somewhere around $10,000. So our efforts worked. We were able to get Shamarky, the camera guys, from the video, the guy who filmed the video. We were able to successfully get his story out there and push his GoFundMe to assist him with raising funds for his family. So that was successful. Ayan, who was the representative of the family, I had been speaking with her. She was talking back and forth with the family. When I say the family, I mean the supposed family of the little 5-year-old boy and his parents, the 5-year-old boy who was assaulted in the park. I had spoken with Ayan, and she had shared information about the family. The goal was for her to come online and give us updates about what was going on. For those of you who are unaware of what I'm talking about, I encourage you after this, go back and look at our live, the interview I did with Shamarky and Ayan a few days ago. The goal was for her to come online and give the community on our platform and give the community an update as to, you know, how the family is doing, because at that time, nobody wanted to talk about. Now, I'm about to drop a bombshell on y'all, so if you watching, you might want to stick around. I'm getting to the point. That family, she was the representative of the family. The goal was for her to come on to our platform as the representative of the family and just let the community know how the family, number one, is doing, what the family need, and if it's anything that we can do to assist. The day she was supposed to come onto our platform, excuse me, the day I got a tooth pulled today, you guys, and it's still hurting. The day she came on our platform, when she got here, she said the family called, they spoke with the NAACP. Something was said, we can't share information about the family. We're no longer representatives of the family. I said, totally fine. Share anything that you would like to share. We'll ask some questions. If you're uncomfortable with any questions that we're asking, you don't have to answer it. So the live continued, and if you'd like to see the results from that, go check it out. Since then, Brother Shamarky, we had a rally, which was a very abnormal rally, just different than any other that most people were doing in town, where we barbecued in the park at Soldier Field Memorial. And the camera guy, Shamarky, he was present. He came, he spoke to the news and the people that were out in the park a little bit. And we gathered together on a positive note to say change needed to be made. And again, we elevated and pushed his GoFundMe. Since then, I hadn't talked to Brother Shamarky or Ayan since our rally. Last night, I received a call from Brother Shamarky, the camera guy. It was about 10:30 last night. I didn't answer the phone. I was sleeping, but it was like back-to-back calls. So I answered the phone because I assumed it was an emergency. So I answered. And what he told me really, really shocked me. And what he told me, I said, the community needs to know this. And that's why I'm here. Brother Shamarky shared with me that the family that the NAACP is raising money for is not the correct family that was in the park that day. I was able to, now that's a lot, right? Right? So he was very upset, and he said, and the reason I'm sharing this with you guys is because I believe that the community should know. I believe those of you who have spent your money to support these families throughout this crisis situation deserve to know what's going on. I want to know what's going on. Brother Shamarky shared with me that he said, I received a call from a guy, a Somali guy, who had said he had been looking for me. By the way, Brother Shamarki okayed for me to share this with you guys. He actually made a TikTok himself last night that he posted, and it was on his TikTok page that's gone viral, that was removed somewhere around 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon. So what I'm sharing with you has already been shared on a TikTok platform of his own. So anyways, he called me last night and he said, Nashana, something really bad has happened. I said, well, what happened? He said, the NAACP has the wrong family. I said, how do you know that? He said, I received a phone call from a Somali guy, and the guy said, hi, I've been trying to reach you for a long time. My son's picture and video is all over the internet and all over the news and things like that, and I've been trying to get a hold of you. And Shamarki said to this Somali guy, so many people have been calling my phone, and I'm not sure if you're telling the truth or not. And this Somali guy said, well, I can prove to you that I'm telling the truth. He said, my son is autistic, and he said, first of all, I saw you at the park and you saw me. He said, my son is autistic, and he has a ankle monitor on his around his ankle that he has to wear because he's autistic in case I was to lose him somewhere outside. He said that ankle monitor, the ankle bracelet, is connected to my cell phone. He said, I can show you that my son was in the park that day at the same time that you shot the video. He said, I want to come and see you. He said, I want to come and see you because I need to lay eyes on you. Brother Shamarki said to me that he went to the home of this Somali guy that called him and said that he's the real family of this 5-year-old boy. So he said he went to his house and he saw the man and in fact saw the boy, and he said, yes, Nashana, I can guarantee you 100% this is the father that I saw in the park, and that is the little boy that was on camera. And I said, how did this mistake happen? I said, didn't you speak to the father prior? I said, because you told me that the dad had been calling, harassing your phone, accusing you of using the video on TikTok, and he wants the money from it. He said, yeah, but I never actually saw him. I never saw his face. He was calling on the phone. And so I asked Ayan, I said, Ayan, you're the representative of this so-called family. I said, how did you meet them again? How did you not make the connection that this was the incorrect family? She said, someone connected her to the family, and when she first started working with them, it was via phone. She said when she met with the mom, eventually it was just her and the mom, but the mom wouldn't let her see the child. And so a lot of questions came to my mind. I said, this is a lot going on. So I told Brother Shamarki, because he was very upset, he says, you know what, we need to go live, we need to tell everybody what's going on. I said, first of all, before I use my platform to allow you to go and tell the community any of this, I need to be able to verify what's going on for myself. I said, I need to see the original video of the young man where his face is not blurred, because all of the videos of the young 5-year-old boy, it's blurred out his face. I said, I need to see the original video, and I need to see this kid. Otherwise, I cannot allow you onto our platform to share this information. He said, I'll send you the video right now. And he did. He sent me the original video of him in the park with the little boy where his face is very, very, very clear. And so he said, I'll call the dad right now on the other line. And so he did, but the dad didn't pick up. I said, let's continue this tomorrow morning. we'll try to get a hold of the dad, and if I can see him, I said we advocate at Journey for everybody. We do not discriminate, and if this is the correct family that should be represented, I have no issue with allowing that family to utilize our platform so that their voices can be heard the same way we did with yours. I said, give me a call tomorrow. He called me this morning. I was getting a tooth pulled. I called him back, and his tone had changed significantly from last night. And I said, have you talked with the dad? And he said, oh, I missed a few things. Last night, he also stated that the real dad went down to the police station yesterday, filed a police report. The police said, we need to get the ankle monitor and we need the cell phone of the dad. And apparently the police took the cell phone from the father, took the ankle monitor from the father, Rochester Police Department, and took a new police report. And so after he told me all this information, I had to contact someone from NAACP that sits on the board just to gather more information and see what they knew. So I talked to this board member who's been a part of the NAACP. Now, the funny part is when I was on the phone with Shamarky last night, it wasn't just me and Shamarky. NAACP had a rally, like a town hall at the Mayo Civic Theater. And there was a Somali gentleman there who was a community representative. I think his name is, I don't know his name exactly, but he had on like a tan suit at the event. And he was on the panel. He was a Somali representative. That guy, he was the one that was on the phone with, and I can guarantee that, I know it for sure. He was on the phone with myself and Shamarky when Shamarky shared this information with me. So there are other witnesses who heard him share this information. He also shared it on his platform that there's a whole different family. So the family that we think they shared the GoFundMe for is in fact the wrong family. So the real family came forward yesterday, reached out to the camera guy. Camera guy went and visually saw the kid, identified the kid as being the correct kid. Then he reached out to the NAACP, he said, and told Wale, you guys messed up. Y'all got the wrong family. And from what I gathered, Wale basically told him, we got our direction from the police. I contacted someone that sits on the board with NAACP, and I said to them, I said, are you guys aware that there's a rumor that you guys are raising funds for the wrong family? That is not the same little boy that was in the park at Soldier Memorial Field, and that is not his parents. This board member at that time, which was that today? Yep, earlier today, had zero idea what I was talking about. So this information hadn't even been shared with the NAACP board as of yet. So this person said, you know what? I need to call somebody and ask some questions. I'll call you back. That board member got on the phone with someone, called me back and says, you know what? You're right. According to what I was just told, the Rochester Police Department just opened up a new investigation for this situation. Because apparently another guy walked into the police station claiming that he was the father of the 5-year-old boy and was able to produce evidence, which was a cell phone and an ankle monitor. And then I was told this isn't the NAACP's fault. The NAACP got their direction from Rochester Police Department. We verified the family based off the original police report that was filed. And that's where we got the names of the family from, the police. And I was then told by the NAACP representative, as of right now, the NAACP doesn't even really think that this new family is the real deal. We think that they're not being truthful. And I said, well, I just find it ironic that they have the proof and the camera guy has identified them as the persons being in the park. And they're like, we don't know. The police, the Rochester Police Department has opened up a new investigation. I said, okay. So I called the camera guy back, Shamarky, and I said, Shamarky, I think it's important that you share with the community what you shared with me. I think it's important for them to know, because a lot of people donated money to support that family. And if you believe that this is the wrong family, you need to tell the community that, and you need to tell them why you think that. And I was told by Shamarky that he's in fear for his life. He's in fear of deportation. He's in fear that for whatever reason they might try to bring his charges back up and send him back to prison. I was told a lot. And I was also told that I shouldn't say anything about any of this. And I said, okay. I didn't say I wouldn't say anything. I just said I think the community deserves to know what's going on.
Right.
You know, this is a lot. The situation itself involves a word that is rooted in systemic racism, and it has been very detrimental to
certain
specifically the black
community, right,
of African American people like myself, African American descendants of slaves. And so to hear that all of these different moving pieces are going on surrounding this situation within the Rochester community is bothersome to hear.
Right.
And at this time, the Journey program is going to cease from any involvement with this situation. I'm going to cease from reporting. I'm going to cease from updating. I'm just going to cease because the Somali community no longer wants to talk. Shamarky no longer wants to talk. The NAACP no longer wants to talk. And of course, the Rochester Police Department is not going to talk.
Right.
What do I think the community needs to do in response to this? Number one, question whether or not there's a new investigation. And if there is, question why. The GoFundMe for the family. Question why was it taken down? Question about the bracelet, the ankle monitor. There's a lot of questions that should be asked, and I think the community deserves to have answers. I think the police department and the NAACP, who I know for a fact is aware of these allegations, should do a press release and let the community know what's going on. Not only because it's important for people to know and be updated. Whether it's true or not, nobody should be faking like they're the family of a child that has gone through this type of trauma. That's not okay.
Right.
But it's important for those who have given money to know where their money is going and who their money is going to. And I can't sit back and keep this a secret.
Right.
You know, this is what I've been told. Whether it's true or not, I think it's questions for NAACP that they need to answer. I think these are questions that the Rochester Police Department needs to answer. Because according to NAACP and according to the camera guy, there is a father, there is a family that has stepped up and said that they are the real family. It makes you question, so now what's going to happen with the funds that's supposed to have been put in the trust for the family? You know, it's a lot of unanswered questions. And I'm coming to you as a representative of the community from the Journey program. We brought these people onto our platform to advocate on their behalf. And we did that. And this is where we are now with the situation. And this is where our advocacy ends, because on this front line is just me by myself. And so me alone is not enough to go against anybody. You know, we're going to give our platform. Hopefully the truth will come out. Hopefully the proper family will be able to access funds that were raised for them. Hopefully the Rochester Police Department can conduct their investigation and find out who the proper family is, so that justice can be served. Before I end the live, the one point that I want to make that's a little bit concerning for me, and I'd love to hear from anyone who has like legal background. I'm just curious to know if this lady that was saying the N-word was to be charged, right, for a crime, wouldn't the charges get dismissed if the allegations was coming from the wrong family? I'd assume so.
Right.
Throughout this whole process, from the beginning all the way to now, we never knew who this family was, because we were keeping their identity a secret for their safety. But I'm just curious. It just raises a red flag in my mind. I'm just like, she won't get charged, I don't think, if the allegations against her is false, which they would be, because it's
not the right family.
Inappropriate party making the
allegation. That's what I'm really confused on, right? So the NPR came out last night, and I want to show you, because 6:59, this was posted by Catherine Rickard. Rochester NAACP says police misidentified family of child called racial slur in video. So that's what I don't understand, right? And this whole, I've said it from the start, this has been funny ass situation, right? So the police department in Rochester appears to have misidentified the family whose child was called a racial slur on a recent viral video. According to the Rochester branch of the NAACP, multiple people came forward claiming they were the family, contemplating law enforcement's investigation. See, this is what I'm saying. This we don't even care about the N-word, really, right? Because I will tell you like this is why it's so this is everything that it comes out, right? No matter if it's feeding our future, no matter if it's, you know, taking transportation for our kids, everything is starting to turn out to be a scam or fraudulent. Why shouldn't we be in an uproar? Yes, we are tired of that word. We're tired of the N-word. Some people get tired of being called nigger. You know what I'm saying? Some people get tired of that shit. And my question is when are people gonna stand up? Like Nishana said, when will people stand up? When will people do what's right? Because nobody seems to be doing what's right. It's all about money. All about money. You know, and then from the get-go, we've never seen the original video because every place was taking it down for her. So you had to do special shit to it. You had to do edits or take out certain words because it would be bullying her. I mean, I had almost, I think, and I still have the original on my, but when they took it down, I still have that video. And I just don't understand it. I don't understand it because in my eyes, this is all about money. You've had 3 different families come forward over this is what I'm saying. is wrong with our community? What is wrong with our community? I don't get it. I do not get it. But I want to play y'all another video. So this is from KIMT News. They have something on it. So I want to play that real quick.
As organizations speak out against racial discrimination and hate, the Rochester branch of the NAACP claims it's not misusing donations raised in the wake of that racial incident that's captured national attention. The organization received more than $340,000 from online fundraisers it promoted after a woman was filmed at Roy Sutherland Playground calling an autistic black child a racial slur. Today, the NAACP responded to allegations it gave those funds to the wrong family, saying no money has been dispersed as it, quote, continues to work diligently with the City of Rochester Police Department to ensure the accurate identification of the impacted family as new evidence comes to light. All funds collected will be placed in a trust dedicated to supporting the needs of the child, end quote. The woman accused of making the racial slur, Shiloh Hendricks, has also raised more than $700,000 through an online fundraiser.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the whole thing about this is it smells like a moneymaker. And if it smells like it, it looks like it, then it probably is it. Because I'm going to tell you like this. I'm going to look for it, but I want to play this real quick. It's between Alpha News, Liz Collins, and Tao Tuo from one of the 5 officers, or not 5, 4, that murdered George Floyd. So here is an exclusive between Liz Collins and Tao Tuo, who was the partner of Derek Chauvin.
It's one of the biggest lies of our generation, yet much of the truth remains to be told about the George Floyd incident and the aftermath. As corporate media try to remind you about the most racist police murder in American history, we remain committed to the facts. Putting the debaters, the debunkers, and a dismissed defamation lawsuit aside, we also remain committed to bringing the truth to light, because they're still lying. These are some of the stories you won't hear anywhere else. Intimate conversations with those who are actually part of it all, whose lives were derailed by those who were too stubborn or too afraid to admit the truth. Tu Tao, a former Minneapolis police officer and partner of Derek Chauvin, never restrained George Floyd. He actually called for an ambulance, code 3, to get help for Floyd as quickly as possible. Tao was ultimately convicted of aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter and was sentenced to nearly 5 years in prison.
After 3 years of reflection, I was hoping for a little more remorse, regret, acknowledgement of some responsibility, and less preaching. You are sentenced to 57 months in prison with credit for 340 days already served.
He's scheduled to be released in November. Like so many others involved in all of this, Tao and his family do not trust the mainstream media to tell their story.
The keys have been transferred. The money is actually in my account. You don't have to use your own capital. Like, you can close deals.
This call is from a federal prison. This call is from Tu Tao.
Hi, Tu. Thank you for calling. Appreciate you chatting with us. How you doing?
I'm all right. I just take it one day at a time. So.
You've been convicted of aiding and abetting murder. Some have called this the most infamous racial murder by police in the history of our country. Did race have anything to do with this, too?
I'll put it this way. If it were my knees, like a boy's neck, or black officer Bing's knees, or black Chief Arredondo's knees, but for Derek being born white, we'd all still be patrolling the city of Minneapolis. The former chief's statement to the FBI, one of his first reaction was to call community activists. And of course, allowed the city to burn and go on national TV, to throw us all under the bus, in which we get stabbed in the back, no pun intended, and in prison. While the chief, Arredondo, gets to retire and collect his pension. And of course, Katie Blackwell viciously gets promoted to second in command faster than I've ever seen the MPD. I'd say, how's that for equality and perversion of justice? So I guess in some ways, race does kind of play a role in this.
A bystander that day said that Derek Chauvin, your partner, was scared of minorities. Is there any truth to that?
That's ludicrous. For one, I'm a minority.
Bro, you're a bum. First thing you want to grab is your mace because you're scared, bro. Scared of fucking minorities.
We talked a bit about this before. You explained how you and the other officers were obviously doing the MRT, the maximal restraint technique, and that Chief Arredondo and Katie Blackwell lied about that.
Yeah, I mean, they lied the entire time, probably to cover themselves.
By the way, that particular technique that was used is not authorized by the MPD. It is not something that officers are trained in on, and should not be used, period.
Now that a judge has dismissed Blackwell's defamation lawsuit, do you think that more of the corruption and more of the truth will finally come to light?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we all have to suffer the injustice of it, but slowly it's coming out. Obviously, certain mainstream medias refuse to cover the truth and continue sticking with whatever narrative and move on. I'm thankful that there's other legitimate media outlets that continues to cover this case.
You know, I had the opportunity to talk to your wife a bit. She talked about your family, how you're obviously missing your kids. You've been away from them for years now. I just can't even imagine how difficult every day must be for you.
Yes, I've missed birthdays, Christmas. I don't even know how tall they are anymore. Difficult to miss the parts of childhood. Never get it back.
And you haven't wanted to have your kids visit you in prison. You don't want them to have that memory of you.
No, it's I just don't want them having that image, childhood of putting them through that type of trauma. I thought it'd be better for them to not endure pain and suffering that we're going through currently.
Some of the stuff that I see that my kids struggle through, my oldest daughter, she's very similar to her dad, very quiet, keeps stuff to herself. She's not vocal about her feelings. And however, she do express her feelings through writing and drawing. And, I would normally see it when I go through her schoolwork. And I have some schoolwork here that she has. And she doesn't talk about her dad to me as much, but I see it in her writings. And these were back in, I want to say kindergarten to first grade. And I happened to see one of her schoolwork here. And I almost didn't see the writing on here because it was so light. But here she wrote, "I miss you, Dad. Please come home." And when I saw that, it broke my heart. To see that my daughter's suffering because she missed her dad. And then another one that I happened to see was just a poster that she did with colors, and then she would write like these message, and on here she wrote, "I love you, Dad, so much. You are kind, and when you were here, you helped me." Her dad was her hero, and he got taken away from her.
How do you think that politicians in Minnesota, the media in Minnesota, handled all of this?
I think they could have handled it a lot better. I feel like my husband was not given a fair trial. I feel like they were just using my husband's case for their own purpose gain. It was hard just watching the stuff that the media talks about my husband, all the lies that's not true about him. I feel very disgusted about it. And so usually I try not to look into it. But, sometimes I get so angry where I want to ask the question, like, why do they do this? Why would they ruin people's life? People who has kids, innocent kids, ruin their life over a lie. Do they ever sleep at night? Do they, does their conscience ever convict them? I mean, are they even people? We come from like refugees family. Our families were refugees. So, they work really hard to get us to where we are. And, me and Tu, we worked really hard to get to where we are. And, they're talking about how the U.S. is a country of freedom, is a country of equal justice, and that people want, they dream to come here to the U.S. But then, after having to live through my husband's case and all of this, I don't have that same feeling about U.S. anymore. It's just our justice system is broken and it's not what it's claimed to be. And it's just sad, and I don't know if it will ever be the same anymore.
Here we are 5 years later. Is this what justice looks like?
Absolutely not. This is what injustice looks like. A perversion of justice, justing where how our country has sunk this low just to get votes, push narratives, gain power.
What would your message be to people who hear this, who have the power to do something about it, to right this wrong?
Well, a lot of these corrupt characters will need to be reminded that no one is above the law. There needs to be accountability and return of righteousness. Part of that is undoing the wrongs that have been committed, at least for the past 4 years. Hold corrupt prosecutors and activist judges to accountability, and to bring the fear of God back to the justice system, and to how the original founding father meant it to be.
Do you have hope yet that will happen?
I feel like our country is now going the right direction. A lot of this things that have been done the last 4 years starting to be undone and being returned back to some level of sanity. Obviously, there's still some more work. I trust in God that in His hand that He'll put the right people in the right places. Because God mandates us to do justice and to love righteousness. I trust that there are many of them in place that can do that.
Anything that you want out there yet, too? I want to make sure I ask you.
All I have. I look forward to coming home soon.
I will say this, that I don't feel bad for Tao. I definitely don't feel bad for him. Definitely don't feel bad for Buddy. It's crazy though how so much information, can be swayed by mainstream media. Once you're, and that takes me back to the incident in Rochester. You know what I'm saying? I know that George Floyd is big. And yes, you know, Katie Blackwell's lawsuit was very important. But this was too, because it wasn't just one family. It was just not even two. It was three. Because like they said, another family came forward. And that's what I don't understand is like we get hyped up over small shit. But it's like that's what I get, like words, but we don't get upset over actions. That's what I don't understand is like, how do we get mad over words, but we want accountability, but then that accountability is so fucked up anyways. I don't even, that's the, I don't even get that. Yeah, so they have been, man, I'll go to it. Crime Watch, Minneapolis, and I was going to play this anyways, but I don't know. Let me see, here we go. They put a tweet, whatever, post out saying that, you know, beware. There's a lot of shit going on in Eden Prairie too. That's 9 hours ago. Let me see if I can get that. Because I bet you if I go to Facebook, I'll find it. Because I seen it on their page this morning. They had received that there was oh man, I might have to put the whole thing in there. Let's see. I know I've seen it somewhere. Let me go back to my old account. Dumbass shit. Because I think I shared it. I was like, listen, I don't know. But they put out something that there was, you know, yes, that they could have potentially, and I want to say though that even if they did pardon Trump, I mean, if they did pardon Chauvin, that's only federal. That's not local. It's not anything to do with his state charges, because he even though he's in a fed prison, no, there would still not. Okay, so here it goes. 11 hours ago. Let's see if I can pull it up. Yeah, so this was last night, about 11 hours ago. It says new rumors have been swirling for, let's see if y'all can see that. I don't know, post it once. So rumors have been swirling for a few weeks, but credible sources have now told Crime Watch that Minneapolis officials are bracing for the fallout of a pending national decision or two that could come as soon as next week that could inflame the flamethrowers in Minnesota. Official emails have been issued to certain first responders with specific details, and preparations are moving into place, though no public acknowledgement has been made. Damn, that's crazy. This Crime Watch said we're not going to speculate on what ifs at this point, other than giving the public heads up on public safety information they deserve to have. If city officials have it, you should have it. Stay tuned here, and we'll share any developments as they arise. So what I want to say is that I'm just telling people that there is a lot of shit going on right now. No matter if it comes to, you know, Derek Chauvin, no matter if it comes to, you know, immigrants, no matter if it comes to a whole lot of things. I can say that we are in, you know, in times that we honestly have never seen before. You look at what happened with between Ryan and then Rodney Hinton. You've seen the police officer, police kill a black man. Then the information they were told was lies and not the truth. And then again, we're gone missing. You know, I think about Rasheen Carter. I think about Jaheim McMillan. I think about Eric Holmes. Jalen McKenzie. There's so many. You know, I just seen the officer of Chris Scher who killed and executed Patrick Loyola, and in the mistrial. I seen 3 officers in Memphis get acquitted for beating it, and we all seen the video what they did to Tyree Nichols. You know, and that's the crazy part, because it all started with Rodney King being put on tape, being recorded, how the police officers in America were treating a certain type of people. Even though we were telling people for ages, yo, the government bogus as hell. A lot of people did not want to make us, didn't believe us, unless the media came out with it. The same thing that goes on with Bobby Joe Champion. The Democrats told y'all not to listen to certain people in the community. And this is why we're seeing this. This is why we're seeing the craziness, the insanity, is because maybe it's too late. Maybe it's too late. Oh yeah, they both been cotton lies. I'll definitely agree with that. They both been cotton lies. I'm not saying that Trump is the best. I'm not saying that he's the end of our demise. I think that's, to be honest, he took over at a time where, to be honest, I think we were going to meet our demise either way. Didn't matter who the president was. I think our response is going to be a little bit different than, let's say, I forgot what I was going to do. Oh, wildfires. I will say this is a damn trip out up in northern Minnesota. We got all these wildfires going on. Yeah, I really don't. I really don't get it. So this is wildfires. 3 in northern Minnesota. And I want y'all to watch and see this, because this is, to me, this is crazy. This is ridiculous. And there's so much dry air. There's so much dry land, and we have nothing but land here in Minnesota. So with that being said, here is the wildfires in northern Minnesota.
Fox 9 and Fox Local, I'm Randy Meyer.
And I'm Kelsey Carlson. We want to talk about the fires tonight. A pair of serious wildfires up north, the Camp House and Jenkins Creek fires, burning through a combined 2,700 acres right now. A dozen evacuation zones are in the code red go now stage. And Fox 9's Rob Olson.
He's on top of the situation in the studio for us. Rob, these fires are not burning far from 2 harbors now.
No, and to give you an idea where these are, it is about an hour north of Duluth there, and about 45 minutes or so west of Silver Bay. So that tells you where that is, in densely wooded, pretty remote area of cabin country. Let's show you the video that we've got in from Sky Fox 9 just a short time ago. And this shows you the extent, not just of the flames, but of the smoke plume. Look at that. And this is from the combined 2 fires here, of the Camp House fire and the Jenkins Creek fire. You can see some of the damage left behind here as they try to assess exactly what's happened. Now, as far as the Camp House fire, that began at 1 o'clock yesterday. They think that may have been from a campfire that wasn't put out entirely. They don't know for certain, but it's looking that way. The Jenkins Creek fire, it's unclear at this point, but they say there is a lot of fuel there on the ground. And of course, the low humidity and the winds that have been pushing it to the northeast. You see some of the aircraft there. They've had aircraft, both planes and helicopters, that were pre-staged by the DNR and the U.S. Forest Service around that area, including some at the Ely Airport yesterday. They posted a picture of one yesterday morning at the Ely Airport, ready to go. And then, of course, a couple hours later, the fires burst out, and they were at work. Now, this is watchduty.org. It's a nonprofit that really tracks fires, and this is very helpful. This is the Camp House fire here, which again began yesterday at 1 p.m. It is now at 1,250 acres, and the red is the evacuation zones for that fire. Up here, that's the Jenkins Creek fire. It has now grown larger than the one that started yesterday, and this one started around 11:30 this morning. It is at 1,500 acres, and these are the evacuation zones for that. These in the middle have just been added as these fires kind of grow together, but everything kind of moving off in that northeast direction at this point. We know that there have been 3 cabins and a garage that have burned, but that's only what they know of so far, because the sheriff said there's a lot of areas they can't get into yet. He spoke to Amy Hockert on Fox 9 all day this afternoon on the Fox Local streaming app, and here's what he said about what he saw so far.
Drove around and looked at some of the structures that were lost yesterday, and really, other than standing chimneys and some of the cement work and some burned out cars, you never would have guessed there was even structures there. Everything was gone. And our heart goes out to those people that have lost those family cabins or family homesteads, because there is that history up here where generations have used them for hunting and enjoying the outdoors.
Yeah, very much so. And again, I mean, you're going to see this over the next day or so, continue to likely grow unless the conditions change. Again, low humidity, warm, and some winds that have really been fueling all of this, and 0% containment at this point. So it's something we're going to be keeping a close eye on throughout the night, and I'm sure the next couple of days. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Rob. And to our east in Juneau County, Wisconsin, the Warthog Fire, as it's known, has grown now to a size of 80 acres. The fire forcing 40 homeowners to evacuate the towns of Mather and Kingston in that area. No injuries have been reported just yet. For reference, this is northeast of Tomah, Wisconsin, roughly 3 hours from the cities here. Officials say the fire is burning to the northeast, and crews are making progress on containing it, but it's too soon to estimate when it can be fully considered under control.
Do you want to know?
Wow. I will say there is a lot of fires going on. A lot of acres, too. A lot of things that are being destroyed. Wow, that's insane. I want to get into, just like we've seen with the racial incident in Minnesota, here we have Wisconsin. And this is somebody else another racial incident happened, and not many people want to talk about it. And it's pretty shocking to me of like, why can't we have these discussions without people being uncomfortable or not wanting to have these, because these situations are going to continue to happen if we don't have conversations that are making these people uncomfortable.
I'm called a snowflake for sticking up for people when I've seen them be victims of racism or just prejudice in general.
New at 6, a Waterford Union High School student speaking out after allegations of racism in her school.
It comes after a track meet was cut short last week due to claims of harassment against students of color.
Mackenzie Beckendorf is asking the administration to address these claims to make the school a comfortable place for all students. Maria McCarr has more from Waterford.
Mackenzie Beckendorf wants to make it clear she's enjoyed a lot of aspects of attending Waterford Union High School over the past 4 years.
I think Waterford educationally is great. I think they strive for academic excellence, and I think that they absolutely accomplish that. I think that the teachers are great.
But she tells me what the school has in educational opportunities, it can lack in inclusion among the student body. Last week, the Rufus King track team left a meet at Waterford High School early due to allegations of racism toward Rufus King's students of color.
I wasn't surprised. My jaw did not hit the floor when I heard about it. It's not shocking.
She tells TMJ4 she has witnessed several other instances of offensive remarks towards students of color. One trend, she says, was particularly troubling to her and other classmates.
When you moved your phone a certain way, it would make a whipping or a lashing noise, and it was a trend to follow around the black students and make the noises and the motions towards them.
She says transgender and non-binary students have also been targets of bullying.
I personally saw students throwing things at them, and I've heard them talk about students calling them it, thing, basically just making it sound like they aren't humans, aren't people.
I've spoken to other students at Waterford who corroborate Beckendorf's claims. She reached out to TMJ4 to share her concerns that not enough is being done to combat these student behaviors, despite reports to school leadership.
I'm really tired of administration not doing anything. Their inaction is the problem. It's the lack of action that is enabling kids to create this environment of negativity.
The district superintendent did not respond to my request for comment regarding these claims.
I don't want people to look at Waterford and just lump the whole school in as racist. I want something to change. I want there to be more conversations.
In Waterford, Miriam McCarr, TMJ4 News.
Man,
This story started with a tip from a viewer.
And like I said, well, actually, let me finish this because this story started with a tip.
Where if you have a story idea, let's talk.
Right.
Scan the QR code on your screen.
So if you got any more tips, because that's the crazy thing. I want to play something else, right? I want to go where I'm not getting so many notifications. So I'll flip to my other one. But I want to go into Amber Plank. She spoke at City Council last night in Red Wing, Minnesota. And, a lot of people are talking about Rochester, but not Red Wing. And that's ridiculous to me because in my eyes, so this is about 7 minutes long, and I want people to watch this. So that's Amber Plank going up to City Council in Red Wing, Minnesota. And make her video.
Sorry. Go ahead, Amber. Hello, Amber Plank, Ward 4. I stand here tonight with the weight of months of being ignored, dismissed, and deserted by this very council. Since September, I have been calling, emailing, showing up, demanding that real, meaningful action be taken against the racial hatred infecting our community. And still, not once have I seen this issue placed on the agenda, not once. Why? What are you all so afraid of? And does that fear match what my daughter felt? So let me say it louder for those of you who have chosen not to hear me. We have a racism problem in Red Wing, and your silence is complicity. In this month alone, a high school student proudly smiled while holding a sign with the N-word on it. She smiled. Now, that was not an accident. That was learned behavior. That was confidence born from knowing that there would be no consequences. And just a few days ago on Friday, my best friend's young son was called a monkey at Burnside School. Good old Burnside Elementary School, a child who currently attends the same school that my own daughter was bullied out of because of the color of her skin. The same school that says that these incidents aren't affecting these kids. The same school that broke my child's spirit, and now it's trying to break his. What part of that do you guys not understand? And what have you offered us in response? A kindness club? You paraded in front of us like it's a shield, a distraction, a box you can check to prove your inclusivity. But let me be absolutely clear. Kindness without justice is meaningless. It's decoration, it's performance. You don't get to wave banners about unity while refusing to name the sickness that you're too cowardly to confront. I have begged for change. I have pleaded for this to be acknowledged publicly and formally. I have asked repeatedly for this issue to be put on your guys' agenda. I have asked for public responses, and yet you have done nothing. And you pat yourselves on the back for superficial displays of tolerance while real children are being verbally lynched in your schools for their skin color in the melting pot of America. Where is your moral backbone? Where is your moral backbone? Where is your accountability? Make it make sense. This is not about politics. It's about basic human decency. You don't get to ignore this away because it makes you feel uncomfortable. And you don't get to stay silent just because it doesn't affect your Caucasian children. You are in an elected position of power and you are choosing not to use it. So let me end with this. Your legacy will not be written by the awards that you hang on your office walls. It will be written in the eyes of the children of color who look around this town and realize that they truly have no one that really stands up for them. Not even the ones who swore that they would. And that legacy, that's yours. So own it or change it. Now put this on the agenda now, not next month and not when it's convenient, now. And I would like to say thank you, but I have nothing to thank you guys for, you know? Like I'm so beyond done, but for these kids, I will be back time and time again.
No, that didn't do it either. She's white.
All right, Amber, I know you're signed up for a second time. I'm going to see if anybody else in the audience would like to speak
I'll
first.
show-
So anybody
I'll show
in
a
our
better
chamber that
picture.
would like to do public speaking, public comment. Anyone this evening doing public comment? Third time, anybody interested in doing public comment in the audience? All right, seeing none, then we'll move on again. So Amber, if you want to come up.
I don't know why they did the video.
I don't know, no handout. Same thing as last time, sure, you can get one, please. I appreciate it.
There's 2 pages, teacher.
Oh, is there 2 pages? Front and back, yes.
Oh, front and back.
I'm passing it back. That's an extra one.
All right, go ahead. Hello, Amber Plank, Ward 4. So I just gave you guys a strategic plan to end racism and discrimination in Red Wing. I'm not going to pretend like I wrote this. I got this off of a simple internet search, which all of you guys could have done before this. I'm going to come back to that though, because this Hanish thing is an issue for town repeatedly, and it's different issues for different people. So one thing that I noticed is there was the cancellation of the Keith Ellison coming to speak in Red Wing. It was an optional event for the students at the high school, and it was canceled due to several emails from concerned community members as well as some school board members. And other people that weren't even in our community, and they canceled that event. We had to meet with Mr. Ellison on a Saturday on our own time, and then afterwards, I received a piece of paper from the school saying that my daughter was going to attend a field trip for Hanish and several other businesses in town, which was alarming to me because I don't know if you guys know this, but after George Floyd was senselessly murdered by the police, Hanish's response was to immediately make Blue Lives Matter donuts. And when a friend of mine asked to make cookies that were Black Lives Matter cookies, he refused to do that. And me and a number of people were writing the names of victims of police brutality on the sidewalk in chalk outside by the library, going down the street to the corner of that old bank or whatever, and then immediately after we would leave, it would be erased off of the sidewalk. And I did that for a few months because I'm pretty persistent, as you guys know. I tend to see that there are special protections for special people. What is so special about Bill Hanish that he can be allowed to steal somebody's stairs or to allow people to not have safe access from a fire? Like, what is the special protections for special people in special positions of power in this community? Or is it their family name? Is it the color of their skin? Is it the money they have? I'm just wondering. I don't know. But anyways, back to the little piece of paper that I gave y'all. You guys can go over that in your own time. Obviously, I'm not sitting up there, or else I'd be doing a lot different than what you guys are. But I'm hoping that you guys would take some time to go through it. It seemed like it would maybe work for town if we actually cared enough to implement something like this. If anybody that is in the audience later, if you want a copy of this, I'll gladly provide it to you guys. But I really think that this is something that the city really needs to start to consider. Like I said, I'm going to keep on coming. It's still an issue. I'm getting responses back from the school that it's not an issue, racism in the school district and everything. And then we have 2 incidents in the last week or so alone. So you all can't continue to deny it. That's all I got. Have a good one.
So I do agree that we can't keep on ignoring it, right? We can't keep. I'm not saying that we got to have conversations, right? Because especially in Rochester, when you've seen that that wrong people can be rewarded, that's not even the family, and that's what's crazy to me, right? Because like we'll go back again to this article from NPR. It wasn't just one family, not 2, but this is the 3rd family that has came up and said it was their child. Like, and that's what I don't get, right? He said that the first individuals to come forward were determined to not be affiliated with the real family. The second group met with a second family, which he said was validated by Rochester police. Well, I don't understand that. This is the third family. And that's what I said, where they're using pictures. So when the NAACP came out with that GoFundMe, I said from the gate, that's not the child. That's not the dad. That's not, I can tell you like this, that they were different. The guy and the kid in the video, when it first came out, I can actually, how could I play it? How could I play it? Because I do have the real video. But then I know I'm going to get a strike for it because they clearly said a nigger word. God, I don't know what to do. But there is video out. The whole video is out there. And they weren't the same. You know, we've had how many protests in Rochester, Minnesota? You've seen people get in an uproar, but it wasn't even the right family. So so that in my eyes, that's fake and paid endorsement. That's paid anger. I don't understand it. And then we do town halls. And then you say, this is a statement from the family. Which family? Because now we're understanding that that's not even the real family. That a whole nother family came forward and had all the evidence, had the boy's ankle bracelet, had a phone that could tell you his location, and then and what he really looked like. It seemed like people don't want to do their investigations. They just want people to be in an uproar and to be mad. Mad at what? Why ain't y'all mad at the system? Just like that last week, how they tried to upplay that graduation rates were up. But not the learning. The learning is going down. The standards are going down. So we're getting dumber high school graduates, not smarter. I don't understand that. It's because we want to feel bad for everybody. For what? Some people just don't, you know, the thing of it is, in my eyes, is that some people don't want to do right. They don't want to do the right thing. They don't want to do the right thing at all. You know, I seen a post from, and he's a pastor, I believe. And I know some people are gonna be like, I can't believe you're playing this. But I'm not playing something, to be honest. He shared a post, and that I think a lot of eyes will. I still think it's fake. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that it's, you know, yeah, that's that. I will not do that, right? I'm actually going to my page because I think it's on there. There you go. I hate when I can't find this shit. And then I don't save it. That's what's crazy. But he shared a post. I should have saved it. My bad. But he shared it talking about, you know, pastors and churches getting money from the city and states. How can you help the people if the establishment is giving you this money to not help the people fully? That's what I will never understand. And that's the same way that's going on in our Senate and House. What a lot of people don't want to talk about is our House. Is our Senate. Are we going to come to a government shutdown? Because how is that going to affect us as Minnesotans? You know, I know the big hot topic is immigration. You know, are they illegals or are they not? Well, listen, man, I don't know what these people are, right? But I do want to play this, is that hours of negotiations, but still no agreement. Whoops. Here. So this is hours of negotiations, but still no budget agreement.
Remain until the end of the Minnesota legislative session. If work doesn't get done, lawmakers will be forced into a special session. Chief Political Reporter Tom Hauser's live at the Capitol for us tonight, following all the developments. And what's at stake for you, Tom?
Yeah, Kevin, the session deadline is Monday, May 19th, but the new date we're keeping an eye on is Monday, June 30th. That is the deadline for state funding. It runs out on June 30th for any area of the budget not passed into law. And my sources tell me after 13 hours of talks since yesterday and including today, still no major progress to report on a budget agreement. Are you having fun yet? The conga line of legislative leaders in and out of the governor's office continues as they seek an elusive budget deal, with days instead of weeks left until next Monday's deadline.
There's no doubt we're at the 11th hour here. It's time to get it done.
The governor checked out the new State Patrol helicopter on the Capitol front lawn, a tangible result of funding from the 2023 budget. A 2025 agreement will require significant compromises.
Folks are going to be frustrated if you compromise on things that they care about, but that's the only way to get it done.
We have a week left, and that's what we're going to get in and work on right now.
Lawmakers spent 6 hours negotiating with the governor on Mother's Day. That followed some budget talk in a boat during the fishing opener on Saturday.
We're continuing to make progress. It's slow, but there's progress being made.
That progress could come at a price for spinal cord injury research. The House is considering slashing funding for that from $6 million over 2 years to $1 million. People like Rob Woodluck says that funding resulted in tangible progress.
Spinal cord stimulation has helped people regain function, movement in their legs below their injury. We've become kind of a global leader in spinal cord injury research thanks to this program.
There is talk of moving that funding from the higher ed bill to Health and Human Services. But HHS is up in the air like most other funding bills ahead of next Monday's deadline.
That is a really significant bill. It's coming to us very late, and it's a hard one to reconcile.
Is this another way of saying next Monday's not going to happen?
I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, Tom Hauser, because I don't know what we can accomplish.
Now, many of the same disagreements are the same ones we've been talking about for weeks now: funding for illegal immigrant health care, funding for non-public schools, and unemployment insurance for hourly school workers. Now, one issue that sources tell me apparently has been worked out is that they will try to balance the budget for the next 4 years, not just over the next 2 years, which is all that's required by law. The House have been looking at doing it for 2 years, but the Senate and the governor appear like they will prevail, and they will try to balance the budget over the next 4 years. Live at the state capitol, Tom Hauser, 5 Eyewitness News.
Thank you very much, Tom.
I'm going to keep saying this. People have to pay attention to what's going on around them because it will affect you. Joe asked a question. The wrong family was represented by Anaya. I didn't know that. Yes. So when they did that, Journey did that first video, you seen Shamarky, and there was a representative of the family, which was Anaya. He said Shamarky and Anaya seemed to be too comfortable with each other, like their thighs were touching in no space between them. You know, I will be honest. This whole situation has been weird and odd to me because people are getting in an uproar, and we don't even have the right family. You know, at least I'm not agreeing with Shiloh, but yeah, I don't even get it. I really got to scratch my head over here because I don't understand it. It's like people should be asking questions. People should be asking, getting to demanding answers, because to make change, people really don't want to do nothing. And but when it comes to drama, when it comes to it's, you know, we do this and we do that, but I will never understand it. I will never get it. And you know, I was one person that I didn't see the problem that was facing us. I really was looking more at I don't even really know what to say. It was more of, us as people caring, but not caring. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if we'll ever get over that. You know what I'm saying? I think I watched I said, you know what I'm saying, too much. But I really, really want people to start paying attention to their surroundings. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be that divide and conquer, and I don't want it to get to that. I don't want them to ever make us feel like we're against each other, because we're stronger and together in unity. And we can't allow them to do the things that they have been doing and the things that they continue to do. You know what I'm saying? So I shouldn't say know what I'm saying, but I've been talking to too many people lately, so you can obviously hear that in my lingo. You know what I'm saying? But I don't understand it. And maybe I never will, maybe I won't. I understand that money is the root of all evil. And everywhere you go, there's always money involved. Because I personally will never understand it. Personally. So I'm just saying me. But until then, tomorrow I'll be back. Same time, same place. And I want y'all to win or fail, freedom or jail, heaven or hell. Wish me well. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Here's some mother's advice. Since it was Mother's Day on Sunday, me and Circumstantial Saint and his mom, Sherry Robertson, also she came in on this. So see y'all tomorrow. Here's a mother's advice.
Pendulums swing under domes of sweet sacrifice. They bear circumstances of urban tales. Only if you dare to dwell the power of motherhood. A love we know so well. I love you, Mom.
Listen to the words of a woman. Listen to
Mother's advice.
Back in the day, me and Mama, we were tight. On them streets at 12, chasing dreams every night. Never thought I'd miss her face, but the struggle was real. No woman could replace her, that's the deal. Suspended from school, always causing a scene. But the big boys breaking rules, living the dream. We were poor, yeah, poorer than the rest. Blaming Mama when life put us to the test. Now I'm locked up thinking about the mess I made. Mama's love, even from afar, never did fade. Elementary days, who knew I'd see the pen? Running from the law. Yeah, again and again. But Mama never gave up, she kept me in line. Even when I strayed, she stayed